I'm Daniel Fisher here at Sweetwater Sound, and today I'm really excited to show you the Dreadbox Nymphes. This is a 6-voice analog polyphonic synthesizer, and it is in a little steel box, but it is very, very powerful. It has 6 analog oscillators, like I said. Those also have 6 sub-oscillators that go with it. You've got a true analog filter with full resonance that goes into oscillation. You've also got a high-pass filter at the end of the chain. You have 2 envelopes per voice, plus an LFO per voice, plus a global LFO for all of the voices. It's got a built-in reverb. It does chord voices. It does unison modes. It does 3-note modes, 2-note modes, mono mode, and chord mode, which I played in the beginning song. So obviously it doesn't have a screen, and the people who don't like it already say, well, you just can't get to all the things at once, and etc. And, you know, there is some truth to that. But one really important thing to understand is that pretty much everything on this has a MIDI CC number assigned to it. So throughout the presentation, I'm going to be using these 5 knobs that I have set to different things, some of them which are a little trickier to get into. And I don't want to make this video a how to use every shift button and parameter to get to. I'd rather just play it, let you watch it. There are tutorials that show you how to do each of and every one of the steps. But today I'm using the Arturia KeyStep Pro. It has aftertouch, which this responds to, and velocity, which that responds to. I'm also going to be sending it arpeggiations. And as I mentioned, these 5 knobs, currently they're set to filter, resonance, all the different modes of chord type. This is doing my oscillator wave shape, and then I have reverb depth over here. Now I've also got the source audio Nemesis delay, which I will keep off until I really start getting into playing it. And you say, well, why do you add an extra box to this? Well, this does have a reverb, and it's certainly a serviceable reverb, but this kind of synthesis definitely wants a delay, and in particular a stereo delay and chorus. And since I can modulate this delay, it lets me get a really beautiful chorus and a stereo ping pong. So I'm going to have that here. It's kind of like I would never play a guitar without certain pedals. I'd never play a synth if I didn't have a good ping pong delay and chorus. But like I said, I will be showing the reverb off all by itself, and I'll be doing plenty of patches with no reverb so you can hear everything. So because it's a true analog synthesizer, I'm going to first show you some of the mono modes. And so to get there, I hit the menu button. Mode is first, so I go to 1. And I want to go to unison, which is number 2. So I press this button, go to number 2. Now I'm in a mono with all the oscillators ganged up kind of mode. And now I can sweep. I'll start with triangle, then I'll go through square, and then saw. And now I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to start moving the detune knob. And the detune knob is in the upper in pink, which means I have to have the pink shift on. So here I am on my sawtooth. Now I'm going to spread those 6 oscillators and get it really fat. And you'll see you can go far enough to go too fat. Okay, now we'll mess with the glide parameter, which is on top. So again, shift, and now I got glide. So obviously the sound's there, the fatness is there. The analog quality is totally there. Is it right for you? Well, here's kind of the way I think about it. If you've already got analog synthesizers and they have all the knobs and everything, but you're just looking for this era of synthesis, analog sound, it's a great way to get that famous 6-voice single oscillator sound. And if you're on a budget and you really want analog and you just can't afford a large synthesizer with all the keys and a knob for every function, then this is yet another way. But a third thing is, if you don't have the space, if you've got an area where you've got lots of synthesizers, but you just want to add this to your collection, this takes up a very small space in both your studio and on your budget. And like I said, everything can be controlled via CC numbers. So via MIDI, you could be running this thing either through your DAW, or if you have a controller keyboard with lots of knobs and sliders, you can assign everything. And it just is a beautiful thing to have for that reason as well. Daniel, I'm gonna let you finish, but Nymphes just got firmware V2 the day after we shot this video. So I gotta tell you folks about it real quick. First is, it now has MPE support. That's MIDI polyphonic expression, which means all those new rubbery controllers now work with this as well. It also has polyphonic aftertouch support, not just channel aftertouch, but also polyphonic. And there's a new list of polyphonic aftertouch assignable targets, which is very cool. And you can now import and export your presets as sysx files, both as individual files and an entire bank dump, which includes the factory presets, which now allows you to also change the factory presets. They were previously unwritable, but now you can send MIDI sysx patches into those locations to now have 98 presets instead of 49 of your own. We can now do channels from 1 through 16 via MIDI Learn, and then they've added a scale mode for the sliders, which now gives you 3 options. You can either jump to the new value, you can have the sliders do nothing until you get to the original value, and now pushing up or down on a slider simply adds or subtracts to the current value, which is really great for playing live. And then some other really cool improvements, the shift button method for making the shift light, you just touch it now, you don't have to double click it. CC numbers are transmitted on preset load, which means every time you call up a preset, the CCs needed to make that preset are dumped out of the MIDI out. You could record that into a DAW and play it back, and it will make any Nymphes jump to that CC setting for that preset. They've redone the CC list to make it a little bit more compatible with other CC controllers, and the reverb controls are now added to the modulation matrix. So like you can modulate reverb parameters. Very, very cool. And Mod Wheel can now do not only pulse width sweep, but pulse width modulation depth on the Mod Wheel, which is a really great classic sound. Anyway, we're done. Daniel, back to you. I'm going to just start going through some of the presets and enjoy this thing. Occasionally, I will turn on the chorus and delay. And again, that really just shows off how good this sounds through chorus and delay. It's not, oh, this thing doesn't sound good unless you have chorus and delay. It's a very big difference. And again, remember, I have control over filter, resonance, chord type, and wave shape, and reverb is on the far right one here. And then, of course, I have my pitch and mod over here, aftertouch, and then I'm also going to be using the arpeggiator from this. Well, that was fatness incarnate. If you have any further questions about the 6-voice Nymphes or any of the other Dreadbox products, please contact your Sweetwater sales engineer. My name is Daniel Fisher. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Click here for more videos like this, or go to sweetwater.com for all your music instrument and pro audio needs.